students are behind, the achievement gap is widening, and you're eager to do what you were called to do, which is to grow students. But let me tell you why. If you dive directly into content to start the year, that's probably the worst thing you can do for your students. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Pursuit of Excellence family. I'm Darrell Williams, and I'm here to help you maximize student growth by focusing on their life skills, mindset, and character. Like I said before, we recognize the effect that the pandemic had in widening the achievement gap for a lot of our students. And great transformational teachers really just want to dive in and help students get to the next level, help grow students, help master content. But let me let you know that if you focus solely on content and prioritize solely on content, you are limiting their growth potential because you're forgetting about the main thing. Let me put it like this. This story always helps me to remember our mission as teachers. My daughter is 2 years old now, but this happened when she was a little less than 1. She was learning how to feed herself. And I mean, she's so cute. Like, we have bought so many spoons and plates. Like, we have spoons that match the plates. We have some colorful spoons. There's some really nice looking spoons. But no matter how nice the spoons look, she still would rather just dive in with her hands. You know, anybody with kids know what I'm talking about. Just want to dive in with their hands. So we're eating oatmeal one day, and I give her the spoon, and she like completely ignores it and just puts her hands directly into the oatmeal, and she's playing in it. I'm like, oh my goodness. Then she takes her hands full of this oatmeal and just wipes it all over her face. And I was like, oh, like she moves so fast, I couldn't even stop her. It was like, oh my goodness. So she has this oatmeal over her face and it's going to her hair. And I'm like, yo, if your mom walks down these stairs, it's over for me. It's over for both of us. So I immediately get a paper towel and wet it, and I go and I wipe her face, and I'm like, all right, we're good. And as soon as I wiped her face, she took her hands and put them back on her face, and she messed it up again. And I sat back and I was like, Darrell, that was so dumb. Like, that was dumb. You cleaned her face, but you didn't clean her hands. And her hands are the source of the filth. See, I cleaned her face because I wanted to get rid of the mess, but I didn't clean her hands, which was the source. I addressed the symptom of her dirty face, but I didn't address the source of the filth that was on her hands. I'm going somewhere. Some of us in education are doing the same thing, where we're treating the symptoms, but we don't tackle the source. See, we constantly want to treat the symptoms of low reading levels, but we don't attack the source that they don't believe that they're capable. We attack the symptoms of below average math scores, but we don't attack the source that they don't care about doing well in school. We address the symptoms of low engagement in classrooms, but we don't address the source that the students give up when things get hard. And so what happens is we find ourselves addressing symptoms because honestly, addressing symptoms is easier. It seems like it gets us to that goal immediately. Think about my daughter. Like, her face is dirty. If I wipe the dirtiness, it's immediate reaction. She's clean. Like, it's immediate gratification. But it doesn't lead to long-term sustainability because as long as her hands remain dirty, she's going to dirty her face again. And it's the same symptoms. Addressing those content specifics without addressing the source is just going to lead to the problem perpetuating itself over time. And sometimes it does have that little, that little glimpse of achievement. Like, sometimes we can move the needle, but it's not sustainable over a long time if we don't address the source within students. So now that you know better, you got to do better. So we're not going to start off the school year just addressing the symptoms over and over again, but let's dive deep into trying to figure out what that source is. And I almost guarantee you that a huge factor in the source of why students are not achieving is because they don't have the mindset of a champion. So what we've got to address is their mindset. And that's what I'm here for. So actually, I have 3 resources that I want to share with you today that I am sure that if you implement these with your students, you're going to see tremendous growth. 2 of them have to do with setting smarter goals, which we talked about in another video, but I'm going to dive into it today. And 1 of them has to do with a growth mindset. What setting smarter goals does is it increases student buy-in. It helps them to organize a plan to maneuver throughout the year and helps them to check on their progress that increases intrinsic motivation. What developing a growth mindset does is it helps to develop student grit, resilience, and tenacity that they need to head down the treacherous path of growth. Because growth isn't easy. And you've got to be strong in order to grow. And we have to first instill within students a mindset that they believe that they can do it. So since I know that focusing on these components are so impactful, I designed a couple of different resources that are all linked in the description below. And I'm gonna go through them, and I wanna let you know that they can be of tremendous use for you in your classroom. One of them we talked about recently is a Smarter Goal activity. It is one lesson that helps students understand what a smarter goal is and create their very own smarter goal and a plan to achieve that goal. That's the biggest thing. They create a plan to achieve that goal. Another resource that I have is actually a 10-day lesson plan. It's a 10-day micro lessons that help students develop a smarter goal. And throughout these 10 days, I call them micro lessons because they take about 5 minutes, right? So it's designed to take 5 minutes for 10 consecutive school days. And they start off with a motivational minute, which explains to them why it's so important to believe in goal setting. And then they respond through a quick summary, a quick interactive way to do a summary. And then there's an activity that helps them to really name the goal that they have for themselves. And the takeaway at the end of the 10 days is that they will have the motivation that they need to achieve the goals that they set in the first resource. And then for the growth mindset side of things, there's a 5-part growth mindset resource that I designed that is designed to either be used throughout the course of a week or throughout the whole school year, because I believe that throughout the whole school year, growth mindset needs to be taught and goals need to be set. So either you can do it back to back, Monday through Friday, or you can spread it out throughout the whole entire year. But it's 5 different parts. And what it does is it teaches students what a growth mindset is, but it gives them the necessary tools and it coaches them on how to make it practical in their life. All right, so check out all 3 of those resources in the description below. I know that they can be impactful for your students. And just for you, it's literally not available to everybody, only to people watching this video. Linked in the description below, I'm giving you a free portion of each of these activities because I want you to be able to see it and see if it's something that you really want to use for your student. So check it out in the description below, and I'll give you access to one portion of these activities, and then you can dive into it, use it with your students, look over it, see how much you like it, and see if you want to invest in the full resource. So the Pursue Excellence moment today is, where are you going to focus your energy as we start this school year to make sure that you maximize student growth throughout this year? I ask that you comment that down below because I really want to be inspired by what you say, but I really want the Pursuit of Excellence family to see what you say, be inspired, because I want us all to win. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to reward students as they're achieving their goals and as they're developing their mindset. We're going to talk about how to reward those students. So make sure that you subscribe so you catch that video when it comes out. But in the meantime, check this video out right here that's talking all about developing student mindset. I know that you're going to want to check that out. And there's another video down there that I think that you will enjoy. So I will see you in the next video.